Hi, I'm Elaine Walker, and this is Baloney, and we promised that we would talk about some different philosophical topics. I always thought that I hated philosophy because I got a D in philosophy in college. I think because on the final exam it said, "Does God exist?" And I just put, "I don't understand the question," and then I got a bad grade. But anyway, apparently I tend to talk about philosophical stuff quite a bit. So I guess maybe I don't really hate philosophy after all. So there's a slew of topics that swirl around in my head, and they're all kind of interrelated. Thought of ways of bridging one to the other. I think kind of a neat way. But my goal in the future is to write a whole book, and I surely don't have enough material for a whole entire book. So I thought it would be cool to get your feedback, kind of help me really think these things through. And I'll list what these topics are going to be. I'll probably start off with atheism. It's very easy for me to talk about atheism because, well, I was raised in a godless family. It was a very good situation, and never read the Bible. I tried to start reading it, and I never really got past the so-and-so beget so-and-so part. So I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Makes it kind of simple for me. I can just say things from my own perspective, and maybe Baloney can have some input on what it's like to be raised in a little godless home. I'm going to talk about consciousness and determinism. I got involved a little bit in some discussions on YouTube, and really thought about it way more than I ever had, as far as free will and determinism goes. But I'm also going to expand on what I think consciousness actually really is. I'm going to talk about longevity, why I think we should live a really, really, really long time. Baloney's about to turn 17. She's doing pretty well herself. Why I think it would be good for us to be old and wise, and why I don't think it's really going to have an impact on population growth too much, because that's really a different part of the equation. I'm going to talk about outer space, human space travel, human space migration, basically. And that'll also, I think, tie back into atheism. Because after all, space migration may be our only salvation. Stay tuned. I want to start off by just reading something that I actually wrote in, good golly, 1997. I just kind of found it recently. I thought it was interesting. It's called The Story of Creation. Excuse me, Baloney. The universe began as something beyond the range of our experience, perhaps beyond the range of our mathematical imagination. We do not have and may never have the language to just describe the exact beginning. About as close as we can come is to say that the seeds of things to be were incipient from the start, including the seed of some essential mystery to teach the parts to become the particular universe that would emerge. The seed surely did not know what it would create, as only time could tell, but it contained the simplest instructions, all that was needed. In an instant, the embryo of the universe came forth, verging perhaps on chaos. But within that instant, the guiding mystery began to frame events as the creation of a universe to be. Time began, space burgeoned, and matter and energy filled it, cascading into existence. As the universe expanded and the first glow of creation faded, gravity became the organizing force. Galaxies to be began to form, gathering atoms into banks of swirling mist, and with each bank of mist, smaller swirls of stars to be began to break away and coalesce. Then, in the darkness, the first stars were born to relight the universe. As the first stars began to die, some of them exploded, scattering forth new forms of matter. Almost all of this debris remained in the galaxy of its birth, captured by the gravitational mass of the galaxy itself. Over time, much of it combined with remains of primeval matter to form new swirls of clouds, to become a new generation of stars, of which our sun is one. From the remainders of the mother cloud of our sun, a new kind of planet formed, incipient with new complexities. Among the complexities that were realized was the emergence of a microscopic structure which could capture energy and resources from its environment and replicate itself, the first life form, from which every creature on our planet has developed in an unbroken chain. Well, maybe. There was some variability in the replications, variations which were passed on to future generations. Some of the variations were better able than their parents to compete for resources required to sustain life and reproduction. The competition became intense, and over time, living things came to exhibit great complexity and variety. In the end, however, in perhaps the strangest twist, victory went neither to the swiftest nor to the strongest, but to the most intelligent species, a species equipped to understand itself, to sort out its origins and those of the universe, and to imagine the possibilities of its own future. So if we accept this story, or a similar one, is what I like to call a malleable story of creation, then we can really justify spending a lot of our efforts really trying to get to the bottom of it. What is the universe? Where did we really come from? What is this great mystery? I like to use the term great mystery as kind of our new kind of God. And it's not meant to literally replace the idea of God. It's to replace something that's unnecessary with something that means something. It is an absolute fact that, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that there is some great mystery to the universe that we don't understand. So there you go. So far, we haven't made anything up. We're just claiming there's a great mystery. We think there's some kind of story like the Big Bang Theory, something similar to it. It's obviously not perfectly correct. Can't possibly be perfectly correct. But we have a pretty good version of it. It works pretty well so far. And it's really mysterious and weird and kind of uplifting in a way. Kind of scary but uplifting at the same time. So if we think of, so every time from now on when I say the great mystery, you can think of that as kind of an analogy to God, although, like I said, it's replacing something nonsensical with something that means something. When I say we can use science to get closer to the great mystery, it's, you can think of when someone says, do this or that to become closer to God. Pray a lot to become closer to God. It's nonsensical. What does that mean? To use science to get closer to the great mystery is something really meaty and real. And if you talk to scientists, astronomers, people who read a lot about this kind of stuff and study it and make it really a part of their life, to them it's really deeply meaningful and fulfilling and brings not only some sort of inner peace but some sort of outward excitement, and this really, I think, has taken the place of religion for a lot of people. There's one fundamental difference, though. In Christianity, let's just say, and many other religions, science is something that's kind of annoying and almost feared. And when there's a real, true advance in science, it's been peer-reviewed and really, no doubt, is kind of the new reality that most people have accepted. then religion has to very carefully upgrade their story to fit with this new reality. And that's happened, of course, many, many times. On the other hand, if we use science as our driving force in our quest to unravel the great mystery, when there's an advancement in science, it's celebrated, and it really is something enlightening. I guess enlightening could be the word. So yeah, I could totally imagine going to some kind of atheist gatherings on every other Sunday afternoon and talking about new advancements in science and how wonderful it is and how we're getting closer to understanding our origins and who we are and what this is all about.